All right, welcome back to another episode of the Otter Players Podcast, episode 63, where we're going to talk about the generation so far, PlayStation's financials, as well as PlayStation's woes with dealing with Bungie and all of the aftermath of that purchase, Doom the Dark Ages, and all of its issues and reception so far, Nintendo game card updates, causing people to lose game saves of hundreds of hours, if not more, and Arrowhead's next game being independent. But first, we're going to go ahead and jump in and see what everybody's been playing. Morgan, how are you this week, ma'am, and what have you been playing?
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I was muted. But yeah, been doing pretty good. Been focusing more on my indies now. Um, Playing a game that I've been waiting for a minute. Um, it originally got delayed. It was supposed to come out fall of last year, but then got delayed until just last week. So it's The Precinct. For anybody who doesn't know, it's a top-down double A game. It's kind of like a cop buddy in the 80s style kind of game. Neon lights, fast paced kind of thing. It's like playing the early GTAs, right? The top down perspective, except now you're playing from the cop's perspective, and it's almost like a cop simulator a little bit. Not as simulator as like the actual police simulator for anybody who's actually played that. I played that a lot. Um, but it does have a lot of similarities in that game. Like, you have your cop car, you and your partner, and then you can pull over people, check their ID, frisk them, and if they commit a crime or you find something, on them, you can arrest them, things like that. But unlike Police Simulator, which is just kind of doing that in different scenarios, this one has like a story to it. It's a very generic, kind of basic, predictable story, but not in a terrible way that I was just like, oh man, like it was just kind of funny. I think they were trying to like play up the joke of like an 80s cop movie, essentially. I did beat it
Well,
last night.
you beat it?
Yeah, it's only like
Oh
a 20,
wow.
25 hour game.
Okay.
It's not long. Um, but I'm trying to figure out if I want to go for the plat or not. Like I still have like a bunch of side activities and stuff I have to do. Not as in like side missions, but more like, collectible stuff like, and there's like races in the game. There's find all of the monuments, like stuff like that kind of thing. But it's still like when it ends, it doesn't end. So, it's like, you can still continue to do your cop duties at the end of the game when you finish the story or whatever. Um, so I'm just kind of determining whether I want to do that or not. I think I do because I'm enjoying the cop aspect of the game. Um, I can tell they put a lot of work on like the destruction physics in this game because that's
Mm-hmm.
a really big thing in this game. Like when you're chasing, when you're driving your car or even like chasing a perp, like you can basically run over or through anything really. Like, you'll ram your car through like cinder blocks or, through random fences or whatever, right? And it's just a lot of destruction going on. Um, Destruction physics in the game. And I think that's where they spent like a lot of their resources on, and I think that's why the game is locked to 30 on consoles.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of unfortunate, like even on the Pro, it's still 30. But I think that's like kind of a choice they made because of like I said, the destruction physics they were working on. It probably would be a lot more expensive to be on 60. My guess is they'll eventually have it, but I don't see it coming anytime soon. Probably not till like the end of the year or something, if they bother to do it.
Yeah.
But they spent a lot, like I said, the destruction physics and then like the lighting, because there's like a lot of like neon lights and things of that nature. They're trying to give off, like I said, that 80s cop vibe. So, through the big city, neon lights everywhere and stuff like that. um but yeah, it's really funny. Like, of course, like the gameplay is obviously going to be very repetitive because you're kind of doing the same thing. You know, you're but it's like different activities. You know, you can that are different criminal activities going on in a city, like drug dealing and speeding, littering, assault. You know, things like that. And you know, you handle the perp based on whatever crime they did. So if they litter and that's all they did, you give them a ticket, like, and then go about your day. But if they do something like assault, like shooting at people or drug dealing, you can arrest them, put them in your cop car, or call another cop car to come get them. Um, you could also like give out parking tickets to the cars that are parked incorrectly. Like it's just like a lot of little stuff in the game. And I like that kind of thing. I like that kind of simulation style gameplay, but I know
Yeah.
that's not for a lot of people. So if you're like not into that sim style, then you're probably not gonna like this game. But if you do like simulation style games, you'll probably be entertained with this. Like I said, the story is very generic. It's nothing groundbreaking or anything like that. It's very predictable how it's
Yeah,
gonna
it's meant to
pan
be
out.
be a good old cop story.
Yeah, it's meant to be that good old buddy cop story. So it's not, it's not anything that you're being like, wow, that was revolutionary. Like, no. But
Yeah.
it was decent enough that, I was entertained. At the end of the day, I probably give it like a 7.
Okay.
I had, a good time with it. So I'm not mad at it. Um, but yeah, that's what I've been playing for that game. And then I've still been playing my other indie game called Until Then. It's kind of like a coming to age kind of story, like I was saying last week. Um, it's like it takes place in like the Philippines, I believe, and I'm playing a boy in high school who's um going through a lot. Like he kind of puts up a facade that he's cool, he doesn't really care about anything, that I the class clown kind of guy, you know, really nice, but just kind of aloof and doesn't really seem to put too much effort into anything as far as like school or what he really wants to do. Um, but you find out like there's just a lot deeper than just the surface. He puts on, like I said, he puts on a facade, but there's a lot of troubling things going on in his life and the lives of the friends around him. And yeah, it gets really sad. And I was like, I swear,
Oh
every time I
man.
play one of these freaking indies, man, I swear, and it's always the same type, like, because it was the same way with the other indie game that I played. I think it was either earlier this year or late last year. Um, God, I can't remember the name of this indie, but it was so similar, like sad coming of age story. Like it's just like it pulls on your heartstrings. I finished it, but there's like multiple um playthroughs with this. Like it's got like it sounds confusing, but there's like a lot of uh it's got something to do with like not necessarily time travel, but like different realities essentially. So there's like multiple playthroughs of this, and I'm just like, bro, if you make me cry the way I cried through the first playthrough through my second one, like there's 3 of these, so I don't have enough tears for all this shit. Like it was just heartbreaking at the end of the first one. So I'm trying to figure out, again, this is another game that I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna platinum, because this game has like rhythm based trophies, and I'm not bad at rhythm based style games, but this is like playing Guitar Hero on like extreme type shit. Like I was just like, bruh. Like it goes like the way you have to press the buttons, obviously to sync with time, goes by so fast, like on the screen. Like I'm like, bro, there's no way I'm gonna see this. Like it's just flying by, and I'm like, I'm supposed to get 100% on this. Okay, so I'm like, again, it's another game I'm debating on whether I'm gonna get the platinum or not, because I realized I missed a trophy. Like I had been using the guide to make sure I didn't miss any important events, and apparently I missed this one. You can go back. It's like it has chapter select, so you can go back later. But it was just annoying to know that I missed this one particular trophy because it was another rhythm based one that was crazy hard. So again, another game I'm debating on platinuming, but yeah, that's I went on a rant, but that's like the two games I'm playing right now. I'm enjoying them, so I can't complain.
That's what's up. Sounds good. Um, Omar, how are you, man? And what have you been playing, sir?
Uh, what have I been playing? Set 3. Basically just Set 3.
The all
I
encompassing, all consuming great game of the year, Expedition
I
33.
I tried to play a little bit of Diver 2 with a friend of mine and we dropped it. We absolutely did. Between the introduction of a new enemy that's so fucking aggressive and the amount of bugs and glitches that we were both getting in just one run. Yeah, you said it off air how PlayStation Live Service is the best that's come out of it is Helldivers 2. That's not even longer the case. Throw that shit in the trash. With the amount of time I spent on Helldivers 2, the last rounds have been absolutely abysmal. And all these issues we were having previously before the new update came. So it genuinely makes you question: does Arrowhead truly care about the gamers? Like, why you not fixing it? These are known issues. And the best one is I got killed. How? Nobody knows. I literally screen saved the video and we watched it back, and it's just a bullet that's not out of my weapon, not out of his weapon. Nobody, none of our turrets were on. Yeah, no, it's frustrating because Helldiver 2 is a great game, but they
Mm-hmm.
fucked it up. They truly fucked it up beyond belief.
Yeah,
But
I get that.
going back to the amazing game that is 33, I broke the shield. That's how far I am. I'm actually inside the monolith, so I'm not sure how far I am from end of. I feel like I'm close to Act 2 ending.
Potentially, depending on how you
Yeah.
play.
Oh? Nah, I'm not leaving anything. I've all my pixels upgraded.
Yeah, depending on how
Eh,
you play, does that's not what I meant. Like people keep asking how close they are to the ending. That depends
yeah.
entirely on you, is what I mean.
But wait, is Act 2 the end?
No,
No.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I thought some. Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it. I would say so. The combat still ramping up. I'm loving it. It's the music. One gripe with it, I truly wish we could switch music in the open world theme because you hear it so much. It's like it's ingrained in your system now. It's literally. I wanna listen to a different music theme. That's also amazing, but I can't. I'm stuck with that open world theme.
yeah, you wish you could
Um,
change it.
yeah, I wish that I know you can change.
I
You
mean,
can.
Priscilla turned the music off like 80%. Like the basically by the time you're at the point you're at, she turned it off because she said it got annoying because she
Uh,
couldn't change it.
it, it's becoming to the point where it's annoying. Like I memorized it. Give me something else. Uh, Especially when you are on the open map for a long period of time. Because I've yet to unlock fly. But yeah, no. Besides that, what I love about this game and this part I only discovered, it's not just the combat; it's also the character interaction. You feel like these people have experienced life and they have stories to tell, and their stories they change their character and explain their personalities, and I just love it. I love SK when we gave him the headband. That's amazing.
That's because SK
I
is
love
the
the
best.
banter between Monoko and what's his name?
Verso.
Uh, yeah, like what I also love is I was not using Vesto. I found him weak. Only to find out he have a 16 level, a 16 hit kill. You need to, save it to the next time you
Verso
play
was
as
one of my
him.
favorite characters.
Yeah,
It's
Verso was a
crazy.
Verso was a
No, so my
beast.
issue is I was running at my L, which is broken. Um,
Again,
what's
you
that?
keep calling stuff broken. That's just not
So
broken.
okay, so when you're doing 45,000 damage,
I mean, that's kind of weak
uh,
sauce, but
I, I,
That's very
I
weak.
I have yet to break the 99.9
Well, you can't break
limit.
it yet.
Yeah, so doing 45 is insane for a single move. Well, not move, but yeah, it's a move. Turn, I will say. That is
you mean
insane.
multiple
Only
hits
to
since that's the only way you're able to do it.
Yeah, only to find out Verto can literally does over 100k
Exactly.
with it is two turn, but also it's a
But if
risk
you have the
versus
cheater
reward.
picto on, it doesn't matter.
It's a risk versus reward. He can't be hit. Which, not gonna lie,
I mean, if
I
you're the
might
parry
be.
king, like you said, you ain't got nothing to
Yeah,
worry
no,
about.
I am a parry king. But when there are
Are
new
you?
enemies, I'm not used to them,
Oh man, I
so
mean,
they're
because you
gonna
was
get
complaining
me.
about the parry, as I remember a week or two ago.
No, no, no. My parry game is on point right now.
Oh,
Um,
okay. So it wasn't the game; it was you.
no, the game was literally fucking me over.
Oh, okay.
What I learned to do is to dodge and see where the dodge is, and then parry. In some instance it worked, in other it didn't. But going back to it, I might have found an idea how to prevent Veto from getting hit by absorbing the damage via my L.
I mean,
But
yeah, being good at parry.
we will see. I do wish you could upgrade. This is my issue. What's the like? I don't understand the system at all. Like I truly don't. Why sometimes my weapon getting upgraded from no out of nowhere, and my pistols too. Like
That's
What
because
are you
make it.
talking about?
it's not out of nowhere. They're designated fights that have the ability to drop either a weapon or a picto, and then when it drops, if you already
It's an
have it, it
upgrade. Yeah.
enhances it. Yeah.
Mm, even if you
Yeah, I'm
already
about to
have
say
it,
you should know it's
okay.
not out of nowhere because something happens to cause that. It's not like, oh man, I'm walking around and all of a sudden my weapon is two
No,
levels
no,
higher.
I fought a random enemy. It's
Well,
not like a
then you should realize that fighting the enemy create cause my weapon to level up. It's not
no,
random.
but it's an enemy I fought long time before. It's
Yeah,
not
but
like a new
that
enemy.
doesn't matter. There are many locations throughout the map where there are enemies that look like the enemies you fought before that are there to drop a weapon or have the potential to drop a weapon.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's actually not. It
Okay.
seems random, but it's not.
Also, another thing I wish Monaco was not needed to be in your party all the time because there are so many missable legs for him. It's not even funny.
I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to. You just do it later.
Nah, there's a trophy for it. You need to do
Sir,
it.
that's not what I said. That's not what I said. I
What do
said
you
you
mean
don't
there? What do you
have
mean?
to have him in your party if you don't want. You can just get them later.
No, because you don't know which one they are
Oh my
when you
god.
fight enemy. But yeah, no. Going back to it. I'm loving the game. I have yet to encounter a bug or a glitch. Only thing I encountered is an open world map bug, but I mean it's difficult when you trying to push boundary to see what's missable, what's not. If you have can access the area or not, so you can get stuck. I did find what help is camping. When you camp and you'll be done with it, you're back to the open world in an open area, so no longer stuck. I do like that. Besides that, what I love about this game also, get this, outside of one mini game that I absolutely hate, the volleyball, they found a way to make mini games fun. This is what was lacking with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Fun game, fun mini games.
And what minigame did you find fun?
The race was fun. It wasn't difficult. It wasn't that difficult. The climbing was iffy, clunky. I would say better. The first optical was fun. It was not that difficult. Um, I'm used to platformers. The climbing. It's like the developers looked at uh, Get Over It and they said, let let's imitate something like that. I'm like, come on, at least give me a fucking ability to grab on something when I'm falling. Would Get Over It, he have his axe. He could prevent from falling by grabbing a stone or something. But yeah, no. Besides that, fuck the volleyball game. Atrocious. It's so difficult to maneuver, but yeah, can't recommend it enough. Play 33. It's amazing.
Cool.
I'm curious where we are in where I am about to enter Act to close to finish Act 2 and start Act 3, and then unlock new ability. Cause holy shit, I need a new ability for SK.
Yeah, we'll see what happens when you get there. We're not telling you
Yeah,
nothing, so I mean,
It's gonna be really funny to hear when he gets there. Jesus.
right?
what? I'm
No,
about to like I'm in a monolith. I'm close to it.
that's not what I said. I just said it's gonna be really funny when you do.
Why? I was
That
not that
do you not understand the
impacted with.
point that we're not telling you nothing? Like you keep asking why. The point is we're not telling you.
This man who don't want spoilers want me to spoil it for him. Okay.
No. I get it. I was explaining something.
Yes, Omar.
I get
You
it.
love Expedition 33, and yes, we all love Expedition 33, and everyone should play it. If you haven't, you should pick it up. It's only
Absolutely.
$50 at maximum price, and even on PC you can pick it up for about $31. So, if you want
It,
something that's
I
amazing,
need them to go ahead and release that SK plushie that you were talking about doing.
yeah,
Let's go ahead and hurry that up,
I'm gonna need them
it's
to
even in
allocate enough for that at least because,
bruh, because that
uh,
shit's gonna sell out
yeah, it's gonna
immediately.
sell
I
out
already know.
immediately. So,
it's even in Game Pass, so no excuses whatsoever to not play it.
yep. But yeah. As for myself, I have been back on my double platinum run for Suikoden 1 and 2. I finished 1 for the PS4 and PS5, so now I'm working on Suikoden 2 in order to get the double platinum. Same thing, PS4, PS5. Um, I've been enjoying that. Obviously, like I said, anybody who's followed us long enough or has, been on my Twitter or whatnot, Suikoden 2 is my second favorite game of all time. So it's really amazing to be back to it, uh, and have a lot of people have access to it that can really get to experience it for the first time and just honestly just enjoy it. Um, that's been like the main thing I've been pushing on. Um, there's a couple of various games. Um, Dark D82, which is PC only, as far as I know. I've been playing that. I'm a big fan of that. If you like Fire Emblem, it kind of mimics something like that, which I'm excited for because Fire Emblem has never had any competition, and it's been such a great franchise for so many years. And it's not that crazy, to jump into. Someone who likes strategy and stuff like that, I've been really enjoying it. Um, and then I've also went back to Star Renegade, which is like a 2D pixel turn-based RPG. Um, Again, just a lot of fun. I've been having a ball with that. It's an interesting story. It's kind of futuristic, aliens invading versus the human race, and so on and so forth. And then I've also been I bought Cassette Beast a while back, so I've also been dabbling in that, which is kind of cool. It's like Pokemon if you could put them in a cassette, but then like you could like activate them and like turn into them. I don't know. It's like a whole thing, but it's a very very interesting um,
What
indie
is
indie
that?
title. Um, so I've been enjoying that as well, alongside one other indie. A lot of games. Like I said, there's a lot of games to play. This is what
Is
makes it so
cassette bit
tough.
good?
I mean, I can't tell you that yet. I'm barely playing it. So
Mm-hmm.
when I'm done or I get further, I can let you know.
Okay.
And then obviously another one I went back to is Bloomtown, which both Omar and Morgan completed. So Bloomtown's been a lot of fun. Like you said before, it's like a indie, very very Persona inspired story. But I mean, the game is just
Oh,
super
Absolutely.
you went back to
enjoyable.
Boomtown.
Oh
Yay.
yeah. I need to finish it. I'm close though.
Oh, okay, I thought you
I
finished it.
no. I am close at the end though.
Gotcha. But yeah, like I said,
Oh,
there's a ton of
okay,
really awesome
cool.
stuff to play. That's just out there. Obviously, we're all getting ready for Death Stranding 2, which is on the way. Um, so I mean, that's going to be the big elephant in the room after a
No,
little while here
the the biggest when is Death Stranding 2?
in June.
Oh yeah, no, the biggest elephant in the room is literally in about to drop in 2 days, which is the start of DLC. I can't wait for that one.
Sir, that is DLC. I'm
Hey,
talking
it
about the next game, sir.
okay, okay, fine, but still DLC.
That is not an elephant. That's more like it's more like a donkey. It's like
No, no,
it's an add on.
the way it's looking like a lot like a fat donkey.
Yeah,
So sign me
yeah.
up.
We'll see. But yeah, like I said, a lot to play. Let us know what you guys are playing, either in the chat or in the comments. It's always interesting to see what everybody else is playing. Obviously, Doom came out, so that was a big thing, which is a perfect way to segue. And we'll just go ahead and cover that first, because most of us are not playing it. I've tried Doom, but the more important thing is like the reception in general for it. Doom, if you've seen it, it's gotten rated pretty well. Um, the general consensus is seems a lot of people like it, but I've definitely seen some splits happening among fans where the way they've chosen to give this really lightweight, not I guess missing that heft that you're used to in some of the Doom plays is not really there. That impact, so it feels really flighty, as a lot of people have described it. I do agree with that. The little bit that I have played, I mean, Doom is always fast paced and stuff, but it's very tricky to get a very impactful feeling. Um, when you're firing the weapons, I mean, he's so light and it's so fast that it also feels like almost nothing has no impact. Like, I mean, the whole joke is, he's super quick, genetically altered and all this other stuff, and just firing double barrel weapons, with one hand. But yeah, it definitely feels like some sort of impact is not there. The shield feels a little bit better on the impact. That's been a cool aspect so far. Um, I personally haven't had any performance issues, but that's because I'm playing on PC. So that is another area where I have heard nothing but issues on the console side, PlayStation especially, but even on the Xbox, I've heard about a lot of performance issues. So I don't know what's going on there with id and what they're doing, but I mean obviously they're going to patch it, but hopefully they can get it situated pretty soon for a lot of people who are giving it a shot. I know the HDR is broken right now, um, so really, the only way to have any sort of HDR um, is to have the Dolby Vision do the automatic tonal mapping, which is why that has been a topic on Twitter. I know Solid Rev had posted, why is the color difference so crazy? Um, and basically it's because HDR is broken. So PlayStation obviously does not support Dolby Vision, so it doesn't have automatic tonal mapping. That'll just kind of take over even when the game doesn't support it. So you're getting a deeper, richer color scheme on the Xbox currently. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like this one's, like I said, is a little all over the place. But obviously, the other big thing that happened with them is for people who picked it up physically, there's almost little to no point. There's only literally megabytes of data on the uh, on the disc.
PlayStation and Xbox both front.
Yeah, they PlayStation has like 382 megabytes or something, which anybody who understands that knows that's like absolutely nothing. You use more data than that watching a 4K film on Netflix. Like it's literally nothing on this disc. It's insane. So it's like obviously purchasing it physically doesn't really do you any good because the whole point of having a game physically is that it's playable without needing to be online. You just load it, copy from the disc, good to go. But it is definitely not playable that way. I find that a really weird decision on their part. I don't know what possessed them to do that, especially for a game that's largely just single player. Um, yeah, I'm not really sure what was going on there. But like I said, we'll see how everybody feels. Doom's got a lot of I guess goodwill is how I would word it. A lot of people just kind of willing to accept kind of whatever's whatever as long as they kind of enjoy whatever's going on. Um, Another big thing is obviously the music from the producer who is no longer on there. So a lot of people have mentioned, the music doesn't hit the same. Like honestly,
Yeah,
it's just a
apparently it
lot.
is noticeable. So yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on with Doom and its reception. Like I said, generally, it's somewhere in the middle. That solid 8, 8.5 or whatever it seems from a lot of people. But as it's getting into the hands of gamers and they're getting to experience it, you're having some people who are really loving it, it seems, and then some people are just kind of like, I don't know what's going on here. So, Morgan, how are you feeling about the reception for Doom? The disc controversy and everything going on with it from what you've seen.
Um, yeah, personally, I have no feelings towards Doom whatsoever. Don't really care about the game, never really cared about the franchise. This is not to speak on the quality of Doom, more say just my taste. I've just never been a Doom fan. Don't really care about it. But like most games, when I don't personally care about the game, I tend to watch other streamers play it. Um, so I did watch somebody play it, and I was just like, okay, it looks like Doom. Like,
I
it's
love how you
definitely
said it
Doom.
looked like Doom.
I
I mean,
mean, there's no other way to
it's
say it.
Doom.
Yeah.
Like it. I mean, it wasn't doing anything that I
I
wouldn't
get you,
expect the
cause
Doom game to do.
you're not gonna see the new things about it and everything in between. I get you.
I mean, even from the reviews I watched, people were saying there wasn't really much new going on. But I mean, I believe what you say, I guess. Um, but yeah. Um, as far as you said, how I feel about it and what else?
Yeah, just what you've seen about the general reception. I know you've seen a few of the reviews. I know scale up and so on and so forth. And just
Yeah.
what I know you mentioned. A lot of people are mentioning the music.
Yeah. I was reading something that Gene tweeted. He was just like, the music wasn't really hitting the same. It was just like there was only like one song that he could think of, or one moment that he could think of where the music was good. And then after that, he just kind of like, it was like, yeah, it was rock music essentially, in the background. But yeah, I mean, I really don't really have anything to really to say about Doom because I really don't care.
No, I mean that's
Like,
understandable. I mean, we had a whole conversation about this in Thrifty's Discord the other day when I was telling them that like for whatever reason, like Doom is supposed to be this super intense, high adrenaline, get your blood pumping, you know, game, and it's just like honestly, Doom hasn't really excited me since like Doom 64. Like to be honest, like I just it just, the intensity and stuff just was never there for me anymore. I was just like, oh, here's this game where I, shoot, shoot, bang, bang, walk around the screen. Like, it just wasn't there. And that's not to say I'm not an FPS fan, because I play plenty of FPS games that just have more substance, and it feels, I don't know, like there's nothing really there unless you're, like you said, a big Doom fan and you're looking for something out of it that personally I just don't really seem to get. Um, I could play Doom to fall asleep. To be honest, I was explaining it to them the other day. It was just like I fall asleep playing Doom faster than watching the Lifetime channel. Like I don't know what it is. I'm just not stimulated at all. Like there's no thought process to it. I'm literally just walking around aiming and shooting, and it just, I need more than that. Like, I don't know. It's like they try to
Yeah.
make it somewhat interesting. They try to throw a little story in there, but it's just like none of these characters matter. Everybody's basically a faceless commander, or you know, uh, big bad enemy, and it's just like, I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. Um, but Karaba, how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, and I'm like, I wanna know about it, but I'm like with Morgan on this one. I have absolutely no idea what's going on, but I do know that they switch things up and stuff like that. So, with the shield, for example, and also what you call it, the amount of things you can ride on. Uh,
Yeah, like the
uh,
dragon and all that.
yeah, like the dragon, there's the mecha, and there is something else. I think street stuff you can ride on. So clearly they did something. It's weird that they didn't do enough markup to the music, because Doom is known for its uh, music. Besides that, the shield is something that I'm genuinely interested in because of the parry. I love parry. I love blocking, so it does bring some new gameplay elements, especially the color coded thing that you can parry and you can't.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's on my radar. It's just 33. Like when your game is so good, you're not gonna drop it for other game. I truly think Doom came out in a bad timing right now. Everyone is so high on 33, and most people are still in it. Some have finished it. Um, so it's just between 33 and then Midnight, that game from a studio behind um, uh, that one game that Despair, you know what I'm talking about. The one with the dice you love, with the unique graphic. I forgot what's called. Uh, no, not Out of Midnight. It's called Midnight something on PlayStation.
the Midnight Fight Express or something.
Yeah, it's the one with the head like a candle.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um, um, it's
Oh, the
here.
Midnight Walk.
The Midnight Walk. Yeah,
Oh my
yeah, yeah.
god.
Hey, what? Oh my God! I'm excited about that. This is from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same studio. This is from the same studio that brought you. Uh, it's
This man making
basically.
a commercial. This is from the same studio that
Hey,
brought you.
I forgot what it's called, but hey. But yeah. Besides that, I do think both games came out at the wrong time, especially with the three now.
I mean, you got to come out
But
at sometimes, though. I don't know what they're
yeah,
gonna really do.
yeah. Going back to Doom, I'm excited. I'm gonna play it. Uh, now that my TV is fixed, I am absolutely gonna play it and see what the fuss is about when the time comes.
Sounds good. Yeah. So
Too
obviously,
bad.
like I said, the biggest
That's what,
Doom player isn't here today.
yeah, that's
Weeb.
exactly what I'm about to say.
Yeah,
Too
Weeb
bad.
was excited
Weeb
about
is
it.
not here.
Yeah, but I don't even think he started it anyway. So, like, honestly, like Doom's just not
Yeah,
really like a big priority
we
on our podcast. So,
I think the fact that we it's not even touching Doom, it makes you genuinely question where the quality is. Cause you would think one of the biggest Doom player out there, if the quality is that good, he would pick it. He would play that. He
I
would.
mean, but
I
he's
think.
he's also playing Expedition,
Expedition
so
33.
Yeah, I know.
it
I
might not be
know.
just because of quality. It's just he's just busy.
Yeah, but it's also good and it works out in his favor because obviously they need time to patch the game, uh, based on what we're hearing. So, um, yeah, midnight walk chaos. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Um, but yeah, you definitely need to take some time away. At least, like I said, from what I'm hearing. Like I said, I can't speak for people playing on console, but that's just what I'm hearing. Um, my PC is obviously just brute forcing it because the 4090 is just way
Yeah,
OP
I
for that.
heard. Wait, your PC is brute forcing it? Then I'm fucked.
No, what? I don't. Yeah, I think you completely misunderstood that term. So,
Yeah, I understand.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with your PC playing it.
Okay.
I
No,
meant
because I did see that apparently you need to have a card that can do ray tracing.
you
Because
have a
they looked at it
4070,
apparently.
so you're perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong
Okay.
with your card.
I'm about to
But
say, why he saying that like he got like
he
a
said,
like a 260 or something,
yeah,
bro? He
he
got a
said.
I meant
470. What are you talking about?
I know this man act like he was on the 1080 Ti or something.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I need a better
Morgan,
card,
Morgan,
sir. What?
you know I'm illiterate when it comes to PC stuff.
Oh, lost in
Bro, you're not
random.
you're not that illiterate.
Okay,
When it comes to graphic card and all that judge, I am.
yeah, that.
Sir, that's very basic. Like you should know the type of card that you have. Like,
I know I have a 4070. I know it's one of the,
did
I
you think
think
it was weak
90.
or something?
No, it's not that. So I understood. So I thought brute force mean uh, forcing it to work at the cost of something else. So if
No,
innate, okay, not what I thought it meant, but
if someone says
Lord have
turned
something
out.
mercy.
is brute forcing it, they just means that their system is so overpowered that even if it had bad performance, it's not affecting them.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah,
Okay.
your machine is more than capable. But yeah, yeah, I guess that might have been what you were relating earlier because I know you talk about Lost in Random plenty of times, and
Yeah, this is the game that I was thinking about. Holy shit!
yes, that's what I said. Chaos said it in the chat. So he's talking about the Midnight Walk team made Lost in Random. But yeah,
Yeah, that's an random is it. Yeah, this is the one
This
that
is from
Fair
the
loved
people
that
that
much.
brought you Lost in Random.
hmm but yeah, it's all good. Like I said, Doom. I mean, like I said, for the most part, it seems like the people that should be enjoying it are enjoying it. Uh, it sucks for the people who are having technical issues on consoles, but it's a pretty solid technical developer, so I'm assuming they'll get it worked out pretty soon. And then we'll see what really
Yeah,
happens from there.
it is known for their quality control, and so I expect that they'll get any kind of damn, any kind of thing fixed out that they have, because like you said, right now um they're not even really like implementing or the PS5 Pro. So it's just like, it says Pro Enhanced, but there's no Pro enhancements for the game.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna assume that they're gonna get that fixed. So.
So yeah, one thing before we move on, something random that happened earlier because I was tagged in something between Chris Toast and Logic, who's from Brap's show, the Basement Radio Arcade, and he said that it wasn't fair to ask if I would like uh, Death Stranding or Expedition 33 more. And I was like,
Oh
because
yeah.
I'm a JRPG fan, that I would automatically pick Expedition 33. And I'm like, that's not fair. Number one, okay, those are two very different games, so that's not fair. And number two, I gave the higher score to Death Stranding because Death Stranding is one of the few 10 out of 10s I've given in like the past decade. And but Expedition 33, and I even said it, one of the few games that could rival Expedition 33 in writing would be Death Stranding. One of the biggest things I loved about Death
Absolutely.
Stranding is the writing. Um,
But
so for
also the
different
uniqueness of
reasons.
the gameplay. So yeah. It
Yeah.
can go
So
for
even
both.
even even though I gave, I ultimately gave the 9.5 to Expedition. Today's 9.5 is not yesterday's 10. You know what I mean? So it's like you never know. So they're both highly ranked for me. Which one I would put over the other right now, I really couldn't even tell you. I don't want to have recency bias from obviously just playing Expedition and just fondly remembering how great Death Stranding was, because I thoroughly enjoyed Death Stranding as well. So I'd have to
I
really give that
mean,
some
Death
thought.
Stranding 2 is coming out soon, so we can cover that and then compare 2 versus 33 if you want.
Yeah, I mean they happen. The sequel happens to be coming out, so we'll see how that makes me feel in the end. How that really turns out. The previews all sound really good, so very soon here we'll get hands on with Death Stranding 2 and see how it stacks up. Because right now Expedition 33 is definitely running away with my game of the year, and it's not even close, which is
Over
crazy
over
because
Split Fiction,
over Split Fiction easily, which is crazy
cause
to
that
say.
shit was dope.
It was
That make you
insane. Um,
yo
No, that's not to say that Split Fiction doesn't do some things better. The level
yeah.
design from
Really
Split Fiction is probably never going to be touched for the rest of this generation. Like the level
the
design,
co-op,
no, the level
yeah.
design.
Level design, yeah.
Yeah, the level design was god tier in that game. So that's a huge difference there, because the level design at points did drive me crazy in Expedition. So yeah, there's no competition as far as level design. Um, but yeah, moving on to talk about PlayStation. Their financials came out, and apparently they're making more money than ever. They are, at least what's being reported, the first gaming company to surpass 30 billion in revenue. So big congrats to them as far as that goes. Which is an interesting time for them to be financially successful, because they're also having a lot of financial a lot of things eating at that finance. I would say from a lot of the canceled games, and the live service push that they were running and constantly seemingly running into issues, roadblocks or failed attempts. Obviously the big crazy over expenditure that was Concord, that was launched for 2 seconds, and then ripped away. And then of course you have whatever Ben was working on was canceled, as well. So then now, of course, Marathon was, on the chopping block next to see what they were going to be able to do and what they were going to be able to achieve. And now that's looking crazy. It's being reported that morale at, the Bungie studio is at an all-time low, are free falling essentially. Understandably so. I mean, they are literally being berated during their live stream. Uh, if, for the stolen assets that popped up, as far as them taking it from a known artist posters in 2017. Looks like they worked on. They are trying to make it right. They have spoken
Apparently,
with that
this is not
person.
their first plagiarism,
No, this is not their first plagiarism. They had issues
which is
with it during
wild.
Destiny 2 as well. There were things that popped up about potential plagiarism there from certain assets stolen for some of their key art. So yeah, to not only have this issue right now when the game was already under fire is kind of wild. So I mean, I can't imagine what people are going through that had nothing to do with this, that are just working at Bungie, that are just excited to try to make a good game. It always sucks because there's a bunch of people who are fans in the space that are just ready to drop kick you the moment you screw up. And like I said, it wasn't everybody. It was one person who brought these assets in, and doesn't work for them anymore, and they just use them because anybody who works for anybody and has read that clause uh, in a lot of our contracts, things that you make while working for the company or things you bring in belong to the company. So they just assume that this person made it, this artist or technical artist or whatever their job was, brought them in, and they just used what they had, from
Like,
the time
is
that
there
person
no
was there.
vetting?
I mean, you can't perfectly do that though. Like how would you do that? You'd have to locate that random obscure, because no one's heard of this artist beforehand. Like this person, despite having cool assets, like nobody knew who they were prior to this. So you can't search everything. Like you're gonna try, but you're also in a professional environment where you're expecting people to have integrity about the things that they designed, right? Like this is part of the the whole thing and the contracts that you sign. Like you're hired to do a specific job, you would hope
So
that you did that.
this was an honest mistake in the sense of Bungie is the victim of it as well.
Yeah, I mean they got by somebody who worked for them that they thought came up with something and they didn't. They passed it off as their
Damn,
own work.
talk about bad timing.
Yeah, I mean
And
it's
this
not a good time for
and
them.
this and this bad timing might actually cost them their game.
Yeah, it definitely could. I mean they're talking about removing the assets. Potentially, honestly, I don't even know why they're talking about removing the assets at this point. I would just personally, I would have before I even committed to that statement, I would have just said, hey, we want to, we're gonna talk with the artists and see what they want to do, and if we can work something out, and then, if we can't, then we'll remove, take appropriate action and remove the items from the game that infringe upon their work. Because
Do
I
we
mean,
know
honestly, they might.
if they talk to the
They have talked to them.
creator?
They've stated that a couple times already. They're in talks with them. They're going over it and they're looking to make it right. Whatever. Nobody knows what the artist wants out of this. Like they're gonna keep that ultimately private as they should. Um,
Hey, if I'm the artist, not gonna lie, I would milk it
I mean, of course.
for
I mean,
the
of
best
course
of
they
my
are. Like
ability.
they've been getting donations in the meantime from people who have now read the story. Like their personal tweet had like 52,000 likes and is going crazy. And they're being interviewed now. Gene interviewed them for the Washington Post, and so on and so forth. So I mean, they're if nothing else, they're getting a lot of airtime, which might result in a job for them because apparently they're unemployed. So which is a frequent thing when you're not like a well-known artist. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, maybe something good will come out of it for them. Like I said, that's why I'm like I'm not really in the whole negative dragging them all. I get stuff happens. There's a lot of people that work on and touch these games.
Yeah,
Most
this
people,
wasn't intentional from Bungie themselves.
yeah,
This
Bungie,
was just
yeah,
a
they weren't
genuine
like, oh
fuck up.
man, you stole that, bro, dope. Like no, they weren't. Like they just didn't know. So but yeah, like I said, it doesn't matter. It's optics. A lot of people are always looking to drag PlayStation as it is, and this is
I
by
don't think this is
proximity.
a PlayStation
It's
thing.
not a
This is more of a
PlayStation
Bungie
thing.
thing.
It's not a PlayStation thing. It doesn't matter. They're under PlayStation. You are creating a game that is essentially first party for PlayStation. So the optics and the way people are going to frame it is you're still under PlayStation. They are still work. They do still have the ability to work independent and push out their games to all the platforms, which is why Marathon is coming out on Xbox. But it doesn't matter. It's an optics thing, and people are going to associate you with your parent company regardless. So yeah, obviously Bungie has to deal with it, but they're still under PlayStation. So you're guilty by association, even though nobody wants that to happen. You know, just because you
Yeah.
drove the getaway car doesn't mean you're not involved. Like, it sucks, but they got to get it together. Obviously in time for this happening, um, you've also had a bunch of other failures with the other cancellations, and there are other live studios that have been going on. And then, of course, your favorite topic of the day, Jade Raymond leaving Fair Games before we've
Yo,
really
she
even
put the
seen it.
fucking height, didn't she?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's calling her a bandit at this point. She's gone from studio to studio to studio and hasn't brought out a single game since Assassin's Creed.
She she pulled the best height, like it's like no tomorrow. The fact that PlayStation didn't find a way to, put in a cloud or something like that. Yo,
Yeah, I don't know. She sounded really confident, when they originally talked about Fair Games and a lot that was going on. Um, but clearly, for some reason, whatever that is, that wasn't, she didn't feel the need to stay there. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like the term "forever a bridesmaid, never a bride." Like she just hasn't been married to any game
What is
release.
what is what is her portfolio though? Wha
I mean, what is her
Why
portfolio?
everyone meant like that is what is she known for? Why is she
She's
so
known for
beloved?
being part of the team that created Assassin's Creed, and everybody is hoping for that
That's so long
magic
time
since
ago,
then.
like
I mean, it is, but
dude.
she was part of the team when it was first created and when it was in its height with Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood and so on and so forth. So a lot of people figure you've got the know-how, you've been in the industry, you've got all these years of experience, and they just keep giving her a chance.
And
Um,
now her experience is being practically a thief, not in the normal sense. Mostly, she's pulling off highs. This is her second or third, I think, leaving a
well,
studio like that.
the prior issue was she was working for Stadia, which obviously did not work out. So
Okay,
that's
Stadia. Yeah, I get you.
yeah, that wasn't really on her. So that was an unlucky one. But yeah, she's definitely had one or two other spots that she's been to in the meantime where she also left before the project was completed. So definitely seems like an issue there. But overall, yeah, I don't know. PlayStation in general has definitely got to sit back and take a look at some of this stuff. I know Rob is a good insight, for some stuff. I mean, he said he's still excited for what Bend is working on and the things that they're doing. So hopefully they're getting their stuff together. It just sucks in general to see PlayStation waste so much time, money, and developmental resources on a lot of these titles. This live service push hasn't really worked out for them, with the exception of Helldivers 2. And even
No,
that,
no,
even
no,
that,
no, no, no. Even that, like I
yeah,
literally
you're talking
just
about
said.
lately, but I'm talking about financially.
Okay, fine. I will give it to you that. Fuck it.
Yes, it's
I'm still
definitely worked
pissed.
out for them financially. But, even that game is being put to the wayside by a lot of people. And, you want a game like that to have legs. Like, they just did an update for weapon attachments, honestly, which feels a little too little too late. Um,
I also didn't even feel anything from it. Like,
well, no, but
I don't
that's
know.
that's my issue. Like, I was saying myself, like, what is the point of being high level in that game if you're still getting murdered the same
Not,
way as if you
no,
were,
not,
high,
not,
low level?
not only that. What's the point of playing the game if killing enemies doesn't reward you jack shit?
Yeah, I mean,
Like
essentially.
like me and Prince when we play, he tried to avoid combat as much as possible. For like, dude, is it not more? Why are you not fighting enemies? Like, I'm not getting anything out of it.
Well, I mean,
And
it's not worth fighting them.
resources, I'm not getting any resources. He only go out of his way to pick up resources because of me. Because I haven't been playing and I lack resources. While he is maxed out. And not only is he maxed out, he is capped out. They capped it at 500, 200, and then 99. And I'm like, why are you punishing your players for playing the game? Like this is why I hate live service model in general. You are literally whether this game, whether Halo Infinite did that, you get literally punished for playing the game. I
Yeah.
can't comprehend my head around that one.
Yeah, I agree, Chaos, man. I think they gotta revisit some of these potential franchises and some other things they got going on, because a lot of these studios they brought on uh, to assist with the live service push, man, it is just not working at all. Um, like
And
there's
the
so
studio
much they
that
brought
they
on for
brought
that.
to lead them, they're not doing well themselves. Bungie.
Yeah,
It, 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 it's a ball of jumble mix of bad, just terrible things all, all ahead. Hey. But hey, they're making money, right?
they're making money if nothing else. Which is why I said
Yeah.
like it's like congrats,
Congratulations.
but like dang at the same time, like man, y'all got to get it together. Like, on one hand, you're doing really well because the console is selling. You're securing a ton of third party and potentially second party content, but it's like first party, man. Y'all gotta get it. Y'all gotta get it together. Like, so many games are still being hidden. Like, I mean, I can't even remember when Wolverine was announced at this point. And obviously they had the breach, but it's like,
Clearly,
man,
clearly Wolverine wasn't out too early. But again, it's for the what you call it for getting more people to work on it, not for us.
yeah, I
This
mean,
is
but it's like
this is why the whole
it still would
CGI
have
thing
been a
exists.
lot more coming out if a bunch of these studios didn't have a bunch of stuff canceled. Is the issue. So it's like if all these studios were working on successful launches, like we'd have way more first party content. And it's like because of chasing, the proverbial,
Dragon.
live service bag here, uh, they have made a ton of mistakes, and we obviously don't want that to have any hindrance or effect on other titles that they're working on. And then obviously you got to reevaluate, right? What are you going to do with some of these studios? You got to either close them if they're not, going to be working on other titles for you, or they're not going to integrate into other PlayStation studios. Um, I don't know. There's a lot to evaluate. But Morgan, how are you feeling about all this? Like I said, PlayStation and their success, but
Or yeah, I
also,
went all over the place.
oh, I know. But I mean, that's what it is. Like right now, like I mean, they reported the financials, but then there's all the failures and with the live service games and whatnot. Just how are you feeling in your case as a consumer?
I mean, as far as the financials goes, it kind of just shows that honestly, PlayStation really doesn't need this live service push. Like, none of the
Agreed.
live services have really contributed to these record-breaking sales besides Helldivers. But I think even without Helldivers, because Helldivers sold what, like 12 million or something. I think even without Helldivers, they probably still would have broke the record.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like honestly, because one, well, I think they would have broke it because they wouldn't have had that huge loss that they had with Concord too, because if the live service hadn't existed. Um, but it's just like it just goes to show PlayStation this is an initiative that they just need to, I think, let go. Um,
Yeah.
when it comes to live service games, like I get the vision. I understand the reasoning why they want this, the increased cost of game development. They want something like a Fortnite that can just continuously make them a stream of revenue that will be able to fund the other games that they want to make, like the single player games that we love.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think the way that they went about it was just completely wrong. Like, first off, you like green light like 68 live service games.
Which was
Obviously,
crazy
it
work.
wasn't that many, but I'm being
No,
hyperbolic.
I
But
think it was around 12 or
It
16,
was 12.
and then they
Yeah.
killed it back. Like you're not
yeah,
exaggerating.
yeah. But they went about it like full force. Like, okay, we're gonna greenlit 12, but it's just like, did y'all just greenlit like whatever? Y'all were just like, we just need 12 live service games, or we're just gonna essentially
Throw a bunch of things at the board
back,
and see what sticks.
yeah, just back whatever and just hope some of them stick. Like, was there any quality control whatsoever? Or was it just we just want 12 and we'll just hope and pray that one of them just succeeds. Like, it, because it just kind of feels that way, even
It
though
does feel
like
that way.
I know they said that they had, you know, testings and stuff and it got back positive, but I have to feel I feel like they didn't test this with gamers. I swear they tested it with suits to see how they felt about these games. How do you? Oh yeah, this'll work great. This Concord. Oh yeah, people will absolutely eat that up. That's fantastic. Like, I just have to wonder who was the one that they got the green light from. But then again, it's just like they also say, you know, Bungie was the one, essentially going through these games and saying which one would work and which one wouldn't, which kind of makes me laugh when we look at the marathon situation.
Exactly.
Um, and again, I get the mindset of acquiring Bungie, right? When you don't know how to do something, you look to people who do, right? PlayStation didn't know how to make live service games. They never really made live service games before, besides like Gran Turismo and MLB. But those are specific to like sports style games, right? Um, so it's like that's different, right? But so they turned to who they thought would have more experience and knowledge of live service games, which makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
They spent billions of dollars on Bungie, not only to acquire Bungie, but to retain the employees that work there, which is cool. Cool. You want to keep, obviously you want to keep the people who have the experience on the team because that's what you're paying for. You're paying for the knowledge that they have. So cool. I get it. When I saw the announcement, I kind of just like didn't care because I don't care about Bungie. Never really played. I played Destiny when with friends sometimes because they begged me to play, and then I stopped playing because I didn't personally care. Like I was being forced to play so people could have somebody to play with. Wasn't my thing. Don't care about Bungie at all. But I was just like, that's a very large investment for this company. I hope it works out for them. But now we're just seeing kind of like the downfall of Bungie with this whole marathon situation with the stealing from artists, which wasn't their first time. Like I would give them the benefit of the doubt if this was like the first time, but the fact that this is like the fourth or fifth time this has
Yeah,
happened, I'm
apparently it's the
starting to
fourth
think
time.
this is a pattern that they think, maybe if we find a small enough artist with not enough backing, we can just kind of get away with this kind of thing. Like because it just seems like something that they're continuously doing, and I'm just like, why? Like, is like you don't have enough creatives on your team to come up with your own art style? Like, why is it that artists are stealing from artists? And like what Nate said, like it's just I don't get it. In a time where developers are upset about the rise in AI and what can happen, and this is bad for developers and bad for artists because it's stealing art, you turn around and steal art. Like
Exactly.
like bruh, make it make sense. Make it make
Touche,
sense.
touche. I love this
Make it make
line.
sense.
I
It
love
doesn't
your
it
line.
doesn't it doesn't it just it's just not a good look. And like Nate was saying, even though this isn't on Sony, because I'm sure they probably had no freaking idea that Bungie was doing this,
Oh yeah, of course not.
it's still on them because they own Bungie, right? It
Yep.
still reflects badly upon them because even though Bungie is kind of independent, SIE, it's not an internal studio, it's still on them because they're still under the umbrella of SIE. So it just looks bad. So I know Sony was probably calling the office as soon as this whole thing came out and was just like, bro, what the fuck? Is this true? Did you guys steal? I mean, y'all need to handle this immediately. Like, it's just at the end of the day, I think before 2027 is here, I think Bungie's just gonna be folded into PlayStation. Like, it just looks like it's inevitable. Like,
And
they had a whole clause about if shit gets bad enough, you're gonna be absorbed into PlayStation, and it looks like that's just what's gonna happen. They already started with that one studio, that LFC or whatever the fuck it's called, the studio that just got
Oh,
founded
LFG.
within place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. So I think that's just the first of many dominoes that are about to fall when it comes to Bungie. Um, the way Marathon's looking, the reception apparently like it's going down. Like the live stream that they have is getting nothing but like negative um comments in the chat. I don't really see any kind of positivity around Marathon really. As far as the people who have played it in the alpha or whatever, because they did open the alpha for people to like comment and stuff. I think based on the lukewarm reception of the initial gameplay showing, they decided to kind of open up the alpha so people can talk about it. But I haven't really seen anything positive. People were just like, it's okay, like it's nothing great, like it's fine. Like, and that's not the reception you want for a brand new IP that's a live service game, a game where a type of game where you a big breakthrough in a big positive reception on it so you can get more players into these servers, but it just doesn't look like that's going to be the case. I mean, it could surprise everybody and do great, but I just, from everything that's happening, like, it just keeps, the news that's coming from Marathon just keeps getting more and more negative. So I don't know. I don't think it's going to go the way of Concord, but
Yeah.
I think it'll go the way of a lot of live service games, which is they stick around for 4 or 5 months, maybe a year, and then it's just dead.
If
You
it
know,
launch, if it launches.
if it launches.
The crazy part is I actually forgot about Concord. Like when you mentioned Concord,
Oh, I didn't.
it's even far worse. It like it genuinely makes you question what PlayStation. What I think we all know what happened. PlayStation got blindsided with the buyout of Activision. They tried everything in their power to stop it. They couldn't. Let's give it a buck. They tried to rely on CMA.
I don't think they. I don't know.
They
I don't
were
think they were necessarily blindsided by it. I think they knew it was happening because a lot of, like, you don't make an acquisition that big without people in the business knowing. So I think PlayStation knew that this was on the table, and because this live service thing started before Xbox announced their Activision, you know, their
yeah,
interest
but it
in
was
buying
after
Activision.
it was
But
after Bethesda, so it makes you question if PlayStation knew what's happening because apparently
that's
there
what I
was
said.
rumors.
They did know. They did know. That's what I'm saying. They knew. There's no way they didn't. There's no way a company could be, talking to act, because you have to, obviously you're in talks with Activision before the whole buyout happens, right? You have to talk to these companies, and these companies like to talk. Okay, they talk a lot. Like, that's why leaks always come out, because people in the industry talk. So
Well, yeah,
Sony knew.
devs are friends, and
Yeah,
yo,
yeah, devs are friends.
Microsoft was in the building today. Like, it's gonna get out
Yeah,
somehow.
exactly. Sony knew this was happening. They knew. Like, they didn't know if it was going to go through. They didn't know but they knew this was a serious thing that Xbox was considering. And so because of that, that's why they went on this, tirade. But they, of course, they couldn't foresee that Xbox was going to go multi-plat. They didn't foresee that Xbox was just going to give in and then give them all their games, right? That wasn't in the playbook. They just thought, okay, Xbox is finally stepping up. They're finally using, the strong arm that they have behind them, which is Microsoft, because Microsoft has been ignoring Xbox for the longest time and just letting them do their own thing. But now Microsoft is stepping in, and they're using the power arm of their money to finally get serious about gaming, and that was a big fear for Sony. And because they reacted in fear, that's why they went full force and decided to, let's do all of these live service games. We're going to do 12. Like Jim Ryan, we're just going to do 12, 13, whatever. We're just going to do something. Something's going to stick. Something's going to work. We have to do something because they're about to get Call of Duty, and we don't know what's going to happen from that. Okay, we could lose Call of Duty. That is a possible result that could happen from this acquisition. So we need to do something, and then this is the result of that. And because they moved in a fear-based way, I just think quality control kind of just was like in the back burner of their mind. Like, they were just like, well, we'll just do something. Like, we need something right now. We just need to focus on getting something out, and then we'll worry about quality shit later. Like, we just do as many. One of them's got to hit, right? Just do as many as you can. Get something out there, because we're going to need a backup plan, because Microsoft is getting serious about gaming.
Yeah.
And so this is the result of that fear. But now that the fear has subsided, Xbox has folded and essentially just giving PlayStation all their games. I just think, because if you notice, when they decided to start canceling the live service games was right around the time Microsoft was announcing, 4 games for PlayStation. Oh, we're gonna do this, and that.
If
Like,
I remember
it's
correctly, it's before.
like I'm saying, it's right. It was like right
It
before.
aligned
It
right,
really,
because they
if you
know
look
before
back,
the announcement.
yeah,
Because
they
the
know
game-
about these things.
Yeah.
Because you have to, because they have to get stuff approved to be on.
Yeah,
You don't
that
just
was
say,
months in
we're
the
making a
works.
game for
Yeah, I
PlayStation.
get you on that.
Here it
I get
is.
you on that end, but wasn't also that their live service push wasn't working? Either Concord.
Well, she's not saying that's the only reason. She's saying it's
I'm not
ironic
saying, yeah,
that they started
That's like,
canceling
but
them
if
right
you
after
notice-
that started happening.
I get you. It's just, I think it's a combination of both. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
we're
not
not
saying
saying
it's the
it's
sole.
not.
I'm not saying it's
Yeah,
the sole
no,
reason.
I get you.
I'm
I
just
get
saying
you.
if you notice when it lines up, it was like right before the announcement because obviously you can't just drop a game on a platform. You have to get approval. You have to work through contracts. You have to be like, okay, we need dev kits, blah 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 blah, like certifications, all that stuff. So PlayStation knew that these games were
Yeah,
coming before
months in
we
advance.
knew. Yeah, months. Like, because you work on for one, you work on a port for months, and
Yeah.
before you work on the port, you obviously have to get approval from the platform holder. So they knew about this a while ago, like way before we knew about it. So like if you notice, like I said, obviously the reason they canceled was obviously quality as well. But I'm saying if you looked at the how quickly they started canceling games and stuff like that, it kind of lines up to when we knew that games was gonna start coming from Xbox. So honestly, I think PlayStation just needs to just quit this little venture. Like maybe have one or two studios that you try to do live service games with, but this whole like obviously like they've canceled most of them, but you know they still I guess are betting on this Jade Raymond game, which I think from
We fair game. It's fair game and marathon. We know nothing about fair games. We know something about marathon, and marathon is gonna be a flop. But fair game, we know nothing.
yeah, they're still betting on it. According to the leaks or whatever from Jason Schreier, people internally are, you know, there was a testing and it just wasn't positive. So I mean, to no one's surprise.
Oh boy.
Okay, like it's just like it's honestly just goes to show that, like I said, this whole venture was honestly a dumb idea. I get why PlayStation did it because there was a real possibility that COD could have been, you know, worked out to be maybe a time exclusive, if not exclusive, or
Yeah.
you know, you have to plan for everything, right? You know, even if something seems unlikely, it's a part of if you are running a multi-billion-dollar business, it is like you have to plan for every you know contingency. Like it doesn't matter how unrealistic it may seem, you have to plan for that sort of thing because this is a company's livelihood is at stake right now because
No,
they're
it
playing big
is.
boy games over there, right? Like FTC, CMA, everybody was involved. Very
Yep.
serious situation, and Sony had to plan for it. Like, but unfortunately for them, the plan just was not well executed at all. And when it comes to Jade, I think of Jade Raymond because you were asking like why she keeps getting hired. Okay, like she was the creator of one of the people who create not
Assassin's
only
Creed.
Assassin's Creed but Watch Dogs as well. And she was also on the team for like Star Wars Battlefront 2 or something like that. Like she helped create Motive Studio and the Ubisoft in I think it was Toronto.
Hmm.
So like she was a part of like a lot of big things, and like people were like, oh, Ubisoft, you know, Assassin's Creed was so long ago, but you have to remember Assassin's Creed was also like a breakthrough for open world games. Like it
It was massive.
it was revolutionary. Like it started. It basically was a template at like ever since Assassin's Creed came out. It's essentially been the template for what open world games have like tried to copy. Like not obviously the Assassin's Creed of today has become obviously a copy and paste generic kind of thing, and you know it's got its own running joke of like Ubislop, you know. But when it in its inception, right, it created this idea of what open worlds could be, right? This big thing with a story around it. You know, the stealth mechanics were and the parkour were something that people really hadn't seen in a game like that, like the way that the character moved and stuff. So Assassin's Creed was huge, right? And that's a big W to carry on your shoulders. I like to think of Jay Raymond. Like I don't know if anybody's ever seen the movie The Social Network.
Yeah.
It's a movie. It's like if you haven't seen it, it's about the creation of Facebook, right? It follows Mark Zuckerberg and how he created Facebook, essentially. Um, and there's a character in the Social Network called what's his name? Sean Parker. All right, he was the creator of Napster. And if you don't know what Napster is, Napster was like a music file sharing website, right? Back in the day before iTunes and like that. You know, that's how you shared music and people, you know, all that kind of fun stuff. He created Napster, but then he like sold it, and it kind of like flopped a little bit, and essentially his character had been riding on Napster the entire movie, right? That was his sole claim to fame, was Napster. And he used that to kind of wiggle his way into Mark Zuckerberg's circle and kind of um facilitate his way into Facebook, right? So that he could be a part of Facebook. And he used his connections that he had back when he was famous for Napster, right? And he was a multimillionaire at the time, and he made friends with all the other people in the industry. He used his connections to kind of prove that he was a important person, and that he knew what he was talking about, so that Mark would keep him in his circle and keep him around. That's kind of Jade Raymond, all right? She's living off Assassin's Creed, and she's kind of using that to kind of infiltrate other publishers, and they, so that I did this was me, and because of my connections and the things that I've done, I'm able to get into these circles and get with these publishers, right? And it's like she has to have not only that, but a certain amount of charisma to be able to sell herself so well to every business that she infiltrates. You have to have a certain skill in order to do that, right? Like, to be able to go from place to place without actually doing anything, but being able to get yourself into these positions, that's a skill.
People forget, like, studio heads don't grow on trees. Like, they want someone who has had the experience and the competence that they think will do good in that position, whether they will or not, right? It's the same thing with we laugh about with we talk about how CEOs play musical chairs. They mess up at one company, and 5 minutes later they're at another.
Honestly, she should write a book or teach a course on how to, like, she should call it How to Fail Upwards by Jade Raymond. Like, because she can constantly not do anything or do things badly and still get hired at other places. That I'm not insulting her, because that is a definitive skill.
Okay? Oh yeah, it is.
To be able to sell yourself regardless of your reputation is a very good skill to have. Okay, I wish I had that skill, right? To be able to, like, fuck up at my work and they'd be like, you know what, Morgan, promotion. Like, yes, thank you. That's what I needed. Absolutely, thank you. Like, that is a very skill to have, but that's a skill you see a lot, like what Nate said with CEOs and chief executives. Like, it doesn't matter if they fail; they'll be headhunted to another position in a matter of a couple weeks. Like, I can guarantee you, Jade Raymond, she quit, but like, she quit her own studio that she created, which is the crazy part.
Yeah,
but
that's hella crazy.
I guarantee you, she will have another position in a week or two if she wants. Like, if she doesn't want to retire, she will have another high level position within the next month, because that's just how it is when you reach a certain level at a select type of job. Like, you'll just go to another
with Phil Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's just stuck in that position regardless, as long as they kind of keep performing triage and keep it going. Like, even though he's technically failed all these years and Xbox is not in a great position, the console, but we're making it work and he's still there.
Mm-hmm. It's like Don Matrick, right? He completely fucked up the Xbox One in the launch, and he fucked up Xbox to an irrevocable point that they're now having to become a multi-platform studio. Like, he is the reason Xbox is on the path that they are now. But immediately after he got fired from Xbox, he became like the CEO of another gaming company, of Zynga.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, you get to a certain high level, you can fuck up and still become, and you're still headhunted to another company, because at a certain level they're looking just for somebody to have that executive experience, regardless of if you were good at it or not. Like, it just is what it is, and that's what the situation is with Jade. Like, that's why she keeps getting hired and put on with all these different ones. Like, we'll probably get an announcement in a month that she's like working for a different studio, working for like fucking what's that Chinese company that's absorbing everybody, Tencent or something.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if she's like over there next month or something. Like, that's just how it is. Like, that's why I'm not surprised
Well,
by the situation.
everybody's looking at, as long as you can get that one good thing, that one good moment out
Yeah,
there, everybody's looking for you to do that again.
yeah,
Like,
they're just waiting. They're just hoping to capture to be part of
But
the moment when they make that one great thing again.
hmm
is she not a husband?
I mean, but that's what you're missing it, right? Like, this
I
isn't
just
this.
explained this whole thing, and then he
Yeah,
just,
she.
well,
No, I
but
get it.
isn't
No,
she?
I
No, but
understood. I
you're wait, wait,
understood
wait. But you're
I
saying
understood
that, but
everything.
you're not listening. There are only so many people at that level, regardless of whatever you think. So they're not gonna hire Bob off the street just because Jade Raymond hasn't produced something, at Assassin's Creed level since she's done it. They're still going to look for someone that is at that level, that has the experience to be a studio head, that has the ability to command all these people and all these moving parts. Like, that is a skill, regardless of whether how good she is at it. There are only so many people with that skill set that are capable, that number one, have that capability and specifically have it in the gaming industry. So
Mm-hmm.
you say has been, but she's still a capable person, clearly, because she's able to sell herself to the point where she's able to get in here and do enough that she's been at that studio for a number of years already, at the very least, and several other studios. So it's not we don't see the result of what she's doing in particular, right? But it's not nothing. It seems like nothing to us because we're the consumer. We're only concerned ultimately about the end product, right? What are you
Yeah.
able to deliver, right? It's the reason why Cory Barlog and Neil and all these people are as famous as they are, right? So same thing with Kojima, because he delivers, right, consistently. That's what you ultimately want. But there's how many other studio heads and how many other producers, how many other directors are out there for games that you have never heard of, that eventually they have to get either their breakout hit or they maybe never even get one. Someone's out there making, I always tell people, someone's out there making My Little Pony Adventure 3. It's not me, but somebody's making it, and there's a studio head and there's a producer and there's someone managing all this stuff, right? And like I said, the people who are capable of that are in very few supply, right?
Yeah.
And this goes for anything. This isn't just gaming related. I've listened to Brap talk about his company and where they've had to hire from, finding actual skilled labor and people who are capable to do these jobs is very difficult. So you've only got a handful of people. I spoke about a while back when I interviewed for a position, for a job that honestly I didn't think I was qualified for, but they still wanted me to push for it. But like, the skill set for that specific job is really really specific. The two things that were mainly needed for the job I had never worked with, nor would I think you would work with them, because they, unless you were in that field, because even though I work in IT and work in technology and all this other stuff, and I've done application support and a bunch of other things, these techs were specific to locomotives, because this was for what we have out here called the light rail. So you are managing systems that tech-based systems that have to do with monitoring the light rail and people's ability to catch the light rail, use the light rail, so on and so forth. But again, unless you are working in the locomotive industry, you are not going to run into these programs that are specifically created for locomotives. You see what I'm saying? It's a specialty. It's like a ton of people. Per example, my neighbor could take a car apart blindfolded. He's extremely knowledgeable, this, that, and the third. But his dad has been working in the same field for Cat. Anyone who's ever seen the big Cat or Empire, people who've ever seen the big construction, yellow construction things, construction machines, they make those. But he was telling me his dad makes like 300 plus K a year, and just going back and forth monitoring and fixing the machines. But the reason he makes that kind of money is he's done it for so long that it's very rare that anybody in current day that's coming out of school is going to know the breadth of knowledge that he's had from being in the industry as long as he had. So even if he was lazy at his job, they still can't replace him because nobody has the experience that he has. So he's someone they want to work as long as possible, and that's basically what you're seeing with Jade. Like, again, there's just only so many people in the field that are capable of that, or that have proven they have the capability to run an entire studio, no matter how
He is
good
a
they are at it.
husband, but not necessarily a husband.
I mean, you can call it whatever you want, and you could say that, but then she could turn around in PS6 and bust out the greatest game you've ever played in your life, and then you'd be like, "Dang, bro, I was wrong, bro. Like, man, Jade really killed that joint." You know what I'm saying? Like, you see? So you say that until she does something fire, and then you would feel a different type of way, because gaming is ultimately like any other form of entertainment. What have you done for me lately? What is the last thing that you did, right? So people are
Yeah,
always going to
basically,
judge you.
basically, this is why, uh, what you call it, um, the studio behind Naughty Dog was getting crucified up until the reveal for Integrate.
Exactly. Yeah, intergalactic. Exactly. And I was the same way. I was like, yo, what the hell are you doing? You spent all this time making factions, this, that, and the third. Yo, where's my new single player game? Like, because
I never lost faith.
I mean, it's not about losing faith. It's not losing faith for me.
I knew they were gonna come to.
But
They
I
already
want
said
to.
they were
But I
working
want
on
to
multiple
know
games.
where is
Yeah.
it. I want a tangible representation because I'm a consumer and I want to see it.
Y'all lost faith, man. That's crazy.
But
I was
but
like-
that's what I'm saying. I didn't like you got to step up every single time, right? Like I told people, Lamborghini is my favorite car since I was like 5 years old, right? But at one point, Ferrari was beating their ass. And I was like, yo, Lamborghini, you got to do something, bruh. Move, do something. You know, and they eventually brought it back. But we had to see it first. You know, they had to come out with the new car. They had to show it off, you know, and show like, you know, we ain't going to just let them run us over. You know what I'm saying? Lambo here to stay. And now, you know, everybody you know that's a content creator and a grandmother who can afford one got a Lamborghini SUV. And now the reverse is happening, right? Ferrari is copying them. And Ferrari came out with an SUV. So like it goes back and forth, like who's done the best thing lately. But yeah, that's why you're seeing that, Omar. There's not enough talented people in that pool to not utilize her. Like it's just not. Even if she's an assistant, you know, maybe they don't give her full control. Maybe in the future somebody pairs her with someone else as another studio head. There's always ways to utilize her skill set, even if you don't want to give her full control, like PlayStation did with this studio. So that's why that's never going to be a thing.
At the end of the day, though, this just kind of wraps up for me that this live service thing is completely unnecessary for PlayStation.
Absolutely.
Because if you're making record-breaking profits and ain't none of these live services hidden, it seems to me you really don't need it. Like,
yeah, all you did was ultimately waste money.
yeah, it just seems like a wasteful project that didn't really result in anything. But it's like at the end, like, what do you do now though? Because it's like you spent all this money on Bungie, and you know you have to get something out of the billions that you spent
hope.
on them.
Yeah.
You take control. What we expecting them to do, they absolutely need to take control of Bungie
I mean,
right
take
now.
control of what's left.
Sure. Like that's what I'm saying. Like they can, but I mean, I don't think that'll result in anything either.
Tell them off?
I don't think you have to sell them either. I'm just saying, like you said, take over. Like that's it. Like that ship has sailed. That's past already. Like, like the company already has lost tons of employees. Like they're no longer that whole thing where they paid X amount of money to keep the talent and all that stuff. Like we're ways away from that.
Hey, take what you can get at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to work with what you got. I mean, you don't have no other choice, and they don't really have a skill set to turn into your typical studios that PlayStation is famous for. But PlayStation definitely needs to reel it back in, and I think if anything, I think they ultimately will, because the big thing that scared them for a time, and also seems to be obviously an investor thing, which Hero was pointing out, right? Investors basically mandated for them to try to get into that space because they saw the money. And this is the problem we've talked about with suits, right? Investors who they have the money, but they don't have the foresight. They don't have the vision. So the only thing they're looking at is what's currently on the market. Like when we had a bunch of Overwatch clones, when so a bunch of people trying to challenge Fortnite, a bunch of people trying to challenge, um, Battlegrounds or whatever the hell it was called. I can't remember what it's called right now. Player Unknown Battlegrounds or whatever. Like that is what these people see, and they see the money in the gotchas and the all this stuff. So they're like, "Yo, make some of that. Do that. I want that money." They made 12 billion last year. I want all that. So they think it's as easy as just commanding because you're an investor, but it's not. It's like so this is where you need to learn to be confident in what you've invested in sometimes and shut up. And that's the reality of it. They need to stop making demands and let PlayStation do what they've done, which is the reason you invested in them in the first place. So you're seeing a conflict there as well, where investors think they know one thing, they're seeing one thing, and they're like, "Hey, I'm invested in these. I'm going to be in these investor calls. I want to see my money used in some of this stuff, only for it to fail repeatedly." You know, um, and it's a conflict in larger studios, which is again why Expedition 33 is such a great thing, right? We've talked about how he mentioned how it would have took 5 to 10 years or something, or like a crazy amount of time to even get greenlit at a major studio, or in their experience Ubisoft, because to get this game off the ground, because all the red tape and explaining they'd have to do and all this nonsense to get it going. And yet right now all these places and all these places are just absolutely jealous, of course, of this game that they've finally produced, with this very very small team and this vision they had, and it's just soaring right now. 90 plus Metacritic, absolutely beloved. People are going crazy. People can't get enough of Expedition. It is bringing tons of people, new and old, into the genre. It's going crazy. That is the type of reception you want from a video game. And it's just like, again, like I said, the problem with some of these bigger studios is, like I was telling people, when you're small like that, you can make adjustments on the fly. There's so many things. And if you guys haven't watched it, you guys should watch the making of kind of video where someone went through the years and all the things that changed for development for them, and just watch the nimbleness and how they were able to adapt to each situation, switching from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5. And just so nimble, because the team is so small and just so ready to dig in and just create the best product they can. And then their supporting studio, eventually Kepler, just backed them up 100% and was like, "Yo, if it's not about making the game fun, don't do it. We just want y'all to focus on making a fun, great game y'all want to play, and we think people will love it." And that's exactly what happened. Like, and it's just like a lot of larger studios have missed that, because sometimes there's just too much money invested and there's too many moving parts. And then, you get a bunch of bad decisions, like, the whole thing that happened with, EA and BioWare, them constantly telling BioWare to make, live service things in their single player games, or, add on content, ripping content out, stuff like that. Again, a bunch of bad practices that just rub people the wrong way. And then you just get all this conflict when you got devs sitting here just trying to make a good game. So it's like, they're struggling. But yeah, it is what it is. We'll see what happens, with the rest of it. Obviously, PlayStation is in a very good position, console wise. Later this year we've got Ghost of Yotei.
It'd be ironic if they increased prices after saying they had
I
such a
was literally
successful.
about to say that. You stole it from me, but okay. Yeah, I was rather gonna ask it. Do you think they're gonna raise the price or no?
Probably.
Ask Trump. They're the ones dealing with going back and forth with
Do you,
China. So
but do you think they also gonna raise it to 80 or no?
Probably.
Also, also Shuei lived long enough to become a villain. This dude. You read what he said?
he said multiple things, which I don't. That's why I don't know if you read the entire statement. He also said games need to understand, which we've said, how much they should cost, and every game shouldn't cost $80. He also said that in that same statement. variable pricing is important. That's what he said. He said
Yeah,
some games, if you are careful and you know what you want, that some games are definitely worth $80, and I can't disagree with him. I've paid that, and they were fully worth that. But that is not a bunch of games, and the higher the price goes, the less games are going to be worth it. That is the problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, he said multiple things, and again, variable pricing. We've seen how important that is. Tons of games doing really well at, you know, 20,
33.
20 yeah, 30, yeah, 26, yeah, but not just them. I mean, Power World did phenomenal, largely because on Steam it was $23.99 for 6 months, but they made billions out of that, just selling that, nothing extra, nothing else, and it wasn't a $70 game. They knew better, and it makes so many people like, man, what's $23, for a game I'm interested in versus what's 70 plus tax, like, or 79.99 plus tax. People start thinking harder about the purchase the higher the price gets. So you got to determine, what is the most cost effective pricing for you. And Expedition 33 is just the latest example of a game that is doing really well at that. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, like I said, PlayStation still got a lot of good things lined up. Like I said, this is kind of locked in for the rest of the time. They said Death Stranding is coming, from Kojima, which obviously we're all looking forward to. Is going to do really well. And then
Ghost of Yote.
Ghost of Yote later this year, and then we'll see if we get the showcase out of them finally, so we can really see what the
And
rest
also,
of these
don't
studios are
forget
working on.
Lost on Aside.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Like, I know a lot of people are excited, but we gotta
I'm
see.
excited.
I mean, you being excited is irrelevant if you're not gonna purchase it, though. So, I mean, being excited is one thing, but they need people to purchase it. So, if you're not day one, that's what they're trying to get. They're trying to see how many people they can get in their day one. What are their sales going to? How much excitement is going to translate to sales? That's the thing. Yeah, I see a ton of people excited, but I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not day one.
Just hope it lives up. Oh, you're not? No. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah. I've already told people I need to see reviews. I need to see the depth this game actually has to offer with the skill tree. There's a lot I need to see.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like I need to.
Enough gameplay. Skill gameplay enough.
Did you
alone?
not hear what I just said?
I heard you say depth in skill tree. I get you.
I said whatever they have shown is not enough for a $70 to $80 investment. That's what I said.
Oh, 80. Oh, okay, interesting. I don't think
it's called tax, bro. It's an $80 investment.
Okay.
So yes, I need to see more. And in this case, this is a genre that I'm typically not a fan of or haven't been a fan of for years. So yes, I need to see reviews. I need the game fully out in the open, and I need full exposure about what this game is going to offer.
Had a demo or something.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean,
I do wish we had a demo.
Stellar Blade is the perfect example, right?
I was just about to say Stellar Blade because I was just like okay with it. I was like, yeah, it looks, I might pick it up one day or something. That's how I felt about Stellar Blade before I played the demo. I played the demo and I was like, oh shit, day one.
Yeah, it was popping, and I told you I was on the fence for the longest time, and we kept talking about it, and then I told you sent me like the last footage because I didn't look at it from when they showed it at like the PlayStation event, and I was like, oh, it's got quest, and she's got a nice deep skill tree, and no, not this, and the deep skill tree and a bunch of other stuff, and I was like, oh hell yeah, and then I went from maybe possibly to day one immediately.
I was the same way. I was just like, I don't know. I mean, I might pick it up like on sale or something. That's how I felt about it. Like I wasn't pining to get it day one, but then I played that demo and I was like, oh shit, this is a lot deeper than I thought.
Yeah.
It's almost as if the demos are important. Almost.
Yeah, I mean, the demo, but also how you show the game. Because for me, it wasn't. The demo just was great, like as well. Because you can definitely put out a bad demo. Like
I've definitely played bad demos.
Yeah, so it ain't gonna always have a good effect if you don't do it right. But
Yeah.
before I was sold before the demo because of that last showing they showed where they showed more depth. Like it was the whole thing we were just talking about earlier about why I'm not really interested in Doom. Like is because I always tell people like I can't really get into games anymore that don't really have a lot of depth. I get bored. Like I need more. I need customization. I need skill trees. I need things to really dig into. Like I'm a strategist. Like I need to be able to, customize and get things done. I enjoy making my own character, my own builds, the way I approach situations. Like there's a lot to it. And again, nothing wrong with the games that are more shallow. You know, they got their place, right? And tons of people love those games, right? And they don't have to go super deep, and every game doesn't need to be an RPG. Not asking for that. I'm just saying if you're not, I'm probably not interested. Because that's what I like. And, that's where I'm at. So that's why I said I got to see more from them, and whether that's reviews or what have you. If they don't show anything else, then cool, because I got plenty of other stuff to play, like what's on screen right now, Borderlands 4. Now that I don't need to see nothing else. I'm day
Yeah.
one. You know what I'm
We
saying?
Yeah, the
don't
state of
we don't
play
need we don't need no demo for them, Borderlands 4, right?
Nah.
was very nice, and this is from someone who doesn't play Borderlands.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it looked very good. It looked very enticing. It looks like something I'd have fun playing. So
Oh, absolutely. We could run
it's funny
Borderlands
though
3
because they said this
together.
was gonna be 80. I was like, oh,
Oh, did they?
yeah.
Oh, honestly, I'm so into Borderlands at this point. I'll always buy like the
I
$100
said,
edition anyway. But yeah, I didn't actually see where they said
80.
that. That's wild though.
Wait, Borderlands is 80?
Yeah, I didn't I
Yeah.
didn't see that.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, that's wild. Thrifty says Lost Soul Aside is 59. Okay, see that again, that makes things more enticing, right? Okay, that's more enticing. Cool. You went less on the price, but am I still interested? Like I still got to see the rest of the interest. Like cuz this is something we talk about a lot. A lot of gamers don't know what they like. I know what I like when I see it. So a lot of people that's why a lot of people talk about, the benefits of Game Pass and trying things and all this other stuff. Like a lot of things when it comes to what I like, I really really know what I like. So when I see it,
Yeah, me
I
too.
know it. You know, I'm rarely on the fence. It's usually a hard no. And again, a no for me doesn't mean the game is bad. What I mean is I know what I like and what I like to play, right? Like the next Mario that comes out, I could tell you it's probably going to be an 8 out of 10. Like bare minimum, right? But I don't care
I don't know.
cuz Mario is boring as hell to me and I just don't care. So,
We
yeah,
can say okay. Just doesn't make it a bad game.
exactly. It's not about it being a bad game.
Yep.
Um,
Oh, well,
what?
nothing. I should have
He's
muted.
not talking to you.
No,
What?
no, 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 no.
No.
Oh, are you guys live?
Yes.
Oh, well, I don't want them to hear me.
Well, you gotta give me a second. Like you came in right as I'm like about to transition to the next topic. But yeah, obviously we went over most of that stuff. This one is a quick one because like we really don't know anything. But everybody at this point talking about the live service and all this other stuff. Arrowhead seems to be pretty confident in their next game being independently developed and published. So we'll see how that goes for them. I don't know if they're gonna have another phenomenon of a hit like Helldivers 2 was sales wise, but apparently it has given them enough money and enough confidence to feel like their next project is going to sustain them. So it'll be interesting to see what happens because it did take them like 7 years to develop Helldivers 2. So I'm very interested to see how long it takes them to develop whatever they do next, and if it turns out to be a hit like that.
Yeah, I have my doubt with this one.
Yeah, I feel like
The
they're just feeling
the
themselves off
way
of Helldivers 2, and I'm just not sure they could do it again.
the way they've been carrying themselves with Helldiver 2, I don't think they're ready to create their own game like that. I don't think we're gonna see. I love Helldiver 2, but they have not been supporting it like that.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting to see.
What do you think, Morgan? You think they got it? You think they got the juice now?
I don't know, because it won't be Helldivers 3. So the question is, what is it going to be? Because they've made different types of games, not just
Hmm.
live service. So I don't even know what type of game it's going to be, because they haven't confirmed exactly what it is. So if it's not live service, it could be great. you know, who knows? Like I mean, I don't, since we don't know what it is or even what type of game it's going to be. It's hard for me to say whether it'll do well or not. I think they're a good studio of developers who are very passionate about the games they make. I think they've gotten a lot of, regardless of what Omar says, they do have a lot of community faith from their loyal fans. So I think that whatever they do, I think it'll at least initially be received positively. Like, people will be
Yeah.
excited for it. The question is, will it hold up? Will the quality be good? That is the $1 million question. I'm happy for them, though, that they're able to, because of the success of Helldivers, that they're able to kind of self-publish now, which is always a great thing.
Agreed.
People always get on like, oh my God, why does the PlayStation acquire them? Blah, blah. I was like, why does whenever like a studio does well, like, and this is people with when it comes to both Microsoft and Sony, they like when they work with the studio and a game does really well, and like the studio decides to make another game, people's first reaction is to bitch and be like, why didn't publisher A absorb this small studio? And it's just like, why do y'all say this as if the studios don't have any type of
Saying it.
say in what goes on? Like, it's just automatic. Like, yes, Sony can just do what they want. They can buy whoever they want, or Microsoft can do what they want and they can buy whoever they want, and they just have to sit there and take it. Like, I'm just like, y'all, maybe the studios maybe they don't want that. Okay, a lot of studios enjoy the life of being independent, not having to answer to anybody. They enjoy making the games that they want, and they don't want anybody else coming in and telling them and slashing budgets and slashing ideas and slashing creativity, and they just want to do their own thing. Like, stop always wanting these multi-billion trillion dollar corporations to come through and suck the life out of all these damn studios. Like, relax.
I
Like,
love how people
it's
assume that
unnecessary, man.
PlayStation, that they have an issue with PlayStation or something. I
Yeah,
love
it,
that.
it it doesn't mean they have issue with PlayStation at all. Like, the CEO already said that they have a great relationship with PlayStation, and they would love to work with them again on another IP. But just right now they're working on their own. Like that,
Which is okay.
yeah, it's perfectly fine. Like, it just irritates me when people say this about studios. Like, oh man, they did good. Oh, automatically absorbed by this large corporation. Like, let these studios live, man. Let them create what they want. Let them work how they want. If these studios are independent and they enjoy being independent, allow them to breathe. Okay. And if they later down the line want something like that, then sure, by all means. Like, Insomniac was the same way, right? They had a partnership with PlayStation for the longest time, independently of PlayStation, right? And they enjoyed that partnership and that independence until 2019 or whatever, when they got absorbed into PlayStation, because that's what they wanted at the time. Like, it's like, allow the studios to do what they want, and if they want to come into the fold of a large corporation, then they're more than welcome to make that choice for themselves. um but yeah, I'm happy for them. I'm happy that the success of Helldivers has allowed them to make this next game. And maybe now that they're not making an IP that somebody else owns, right? Because PlayStation owns the Helldivers IP. So maybe now that they're making their own, maybe they'll have, even more creative liberty, pun intended, to
Hmm.
make what they want, and it'll be even better. Who knows? But I'm happy for them. I'm excited to see what they have, to offer down the line. It'll be interesting because I'm sure they're going to be, with this new IP, they're probably going to be hiring more people to obviously continue to, because it's a lot. Helldivers 2 is a live service game, so they're going to have to continuously, keep people on to for the upkeep of Helldivers 2. So they're
Mm-hmm.
probably going to need to do some more hiring for whatever this new IP is. So, congratulations to them. I'm sure they're going to probably be looking for like a bigger studio somewhere to to hold all these new employees that they're going to get. So I can't wait to see what they have. I'm sure it'll be great.
Agreed. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Um, our last topic here is more of I guess, a warning to a lot of people, just in case. I know a lot of
Warning, are we in the mafia? Okay, cool. Let's go.
yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about, but
You said warning.
Fucking Omar, man.
Hey,
like
he
that was
said
so
warning, so I'm like,
random.
Bro,
are
yo,
we in the
chill.
mafia?
Oh my
I mean,
god.
it's
Anyway,
that was so corny. Again, Omar
Omar
just
got the joke of like my dad, just those corny dad jokes, man.
Omar be the one
Hey,
to
what?
say the
Hey,
is your
what
Those
the
refrigerator
fuck?
corny
running?
old,
I'm just
those
asshole.
corny old man jokes, Omar. That's what you're good for. You
Holy,
know that? Like Jesus,
holy
man.
shit, man.
Oh, the mafia? That's something my dad would have said. Like Jesus Christ,
Come
Omar.
on.
Lord. Okay.
This
Come
man, dog.
on. I hate
Anyway,
you.
before the random craziness of Omar that usually happens per week on this show, yeah, this is, like I said, essentially a warning for a lot of people, because depending on who you follow or who you know, like they may not have encountered this or come across it, but Nintendo did put out an update that does, in order to get ready for the Switch 2, that does also apply to Switch 1, which is, of course, the digital game cards uh, change that they did for all your digital purchases. Um, so the issue is that if you have a digital game that is housed on your SD card and you update it, it will essentially destroy uh, your save data. So it, for whatever reason, the way they program this stupidly, um, basically it will just assassinate it. So several people I've seen complaining, they went to do the update, only to find out, 80, 100 plus hour saves on certain games that they own digitally on the Nintendo Switch are just gone. So unless you have the online and you have your save data backed up in the online, there's no way, from what I understand, to get it back. And it wouldn't be retroactive either. So it's like, not having it, you can't just go back and be like, oh, I'm gonna go get, I'm gonna go get the online now and then upload my saves and then download them and it'll work. It's like you had to have them uploaded before you made the change. And again, this is just specifically for digital games that you have on your SD card, or the save data is stored on the SD card. And like, if anybody knows that has a Switch, the on system memory is pretty limited. So most of the time you're going to have an SD card. So this was an incredibly major oversight from Nintendo to go through with this, especially not warning anybody. Like, I don't know what they were thinking. Like, if this was any other company, they'd be eviscerated at this point. Um, Thankfully, like
Nintendo gets
99% of
away
my
with
stuff.
murder. Come on, you know it.
I mean, they always do. Thankfully for me personally, 99% of my collection for Switch is physical because I don't trust Nintendo digitally, which I've said multiple times. I think they just have a piss poor way of dealing with and handling their digital purchases or sales in DLC, especially from the 3DS era, shutting down the store, giving people no way to purchase content or download the content they've purchased, that still have those and still love their 3DS the way that I do. Um, so yeah, I mean, I didn't get caught by this one. Thankfully, I haven't done the update. My Switch has been off, and like I said, most of my stuff most of it, especially my big games, are pretty much all
Yeah,
physical.
when the news broke, like we were offline talking, and the games that he kept mentioning, all big JRPG games like Star Ocean, the newest one, Pokemon, even I forgot what game that it was on on as well. Like kept constantly making big games that you're like, dude, that's 100 of hours spent on them and gone.
Yeah,
Yo, that people gamers worst nightmare like that.
yeah. The guy who originally published this, the YouTuber, David So RPG or something like that. Um, it sucks for him because as a content creator, he gets a ton of games digitally because he gets codes sent to him to review games, which of course are digital. So he lost a ton of data, like
Yeah,
80 plus hours in what, like a couple of RPGs that he was playing at the time.
and all
Like,
big all RPG, 80 plus hours per game, mind you, eh? That's
yeah,
the craziest part. Like, nah, some head gotta roll with this one, nah.
yeah. So I completely get why he's like losing it and he's super upset because I mean I would be. He was trying to be preemptive and be like, well, I don't want to, be at an airport with terrible internet and have to update it and this, that, and the third. He was trying to think ahead of time, so he updated a bunch of them at once, and only to find out that the save data was gone. So yeah, just a warning for anybody out there who has not updated it, or I know, like I said, I know some of you guys don't play it. You guys just have kids that play it, so you guys are aware of how the update works, and that the best way you can retain these is making sure you have like the little $20 sub for the year for the online. You don't need the big one that's like $60 or $80 or whatever it is. But make sure you back up all those saves. uh, I mean, I would back them up, period, even if they're physical and digital. I mean, that's what I plan to do. I have it. So I think all my stuff is automatically uploaded, but I will definitely make sure before I update the very small amount of digital games that I have from them. But even my physical, I'll make sure I back up and make sure the latest ones are uploaded before I even do it, because it's crazy to lose that amount of time in some of the games that you've been working on. Let's see really what goes on with that. It's any game, chaos. So any game that is digital on the Switch, when you update to the game cart, it will basically eviscerate or no longer recognize the save that is on the SD card. So you have to upload it and then re-download it after you do the update from the Nintendo Switch Online backup, so that you don't lose your save data. Yeah. So
Which is crazy. Can you imagine if PlayStation did this?
imagine anybody did that, they'd be getting the smoke right now. But in true fashion, uh, Nintendo fans are just kind of like, ah, whatever. But
It
yeah,
doesn't affect me, so it's
yeah,
okay for Nintendo to keep doing away with murder, hey. It's Nintendo, that's what they do.
indeed. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, hopefully that warning helps someone or anyone that runs into that. Like I said, that is not fun. I would be pissed off, especially if it was several of my games. Thankfully, my Switch is like a secondary device, so if it is on any other platform, I will probably get it there and not the Switch. So some of the games that he had on there that have tons and tons of hours, I have on PlayStation or PC, so I wouldn't have that issue.
Yeah,
But yeah, that, again, a big reason why I keep telling people I just don't trust Nintendo with digital anything. They always handle it badly, and then this is just another example of them handling it badly. um but yeah, I know Morgan doesn't have a Switch, so she just but yeah, it's not fun either way. Thankfully she don't have to deal with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Just sounds like Nintendo doing what Nintendo does. I mean, I can't single out Nintendo because all these companies, you give them an inch,
Oh yeah.
they'll take a mile.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's just, you know, it's sad to see because I know a lot of people really love Nintendo and love, the games they have, and it would absolutely suck to lose all your save data, especially on the games that he was talking about, which are like
Oh yeah.
long, extensive JRPGs. Like, That would probably crush me. He lost his Octopath 2 Traveler save data. Oh my
Oh,
god.
I would
Yeah,
cry.
I'd
that
be on my
one.
knees.
Yeah.
I would cry. That took so much work.
Hell yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yo, man,
Like,
listen, beating that final boss, the one that's not the final, but is the actual final boss.
The super boss.
That
Yeah.
the super boss in that game, okay? You understand the levels that it takes, bro. How many different phases this motherfucker has. The way you have to assemble both halves of your team, because you have to fight them with all of your team members, all 8 of them of motherfuckers. And at the same time, you four in the first phase, and then 4 in the second phase, and then like your main people in like the third or whatever. Like it's crazy how hard that was. And
I mean, it's insane.
imagining losing that would have me going on a mental breakdown, to be quite honest with you. But yeah,
you're not exaggerating. That's crazy.
that is insane. I hope that I know it's unfortunate for him, because I doubt this can be remedied for him. But I hope that his warning is sent to the Nintendo head office and they find a way to patch that out before this becomes a worldwide issue. Because that would, you definitely don't want something like that
I mean,
spiraling
the
out of
update is
control.
global, so if you update it, you're screwed already.
Well, I hope they patch that out as quickly as possible. Yeah,
Yep.
that's very unfortunate.
It is.
I guess the silver lining is that I mean, I can't really call it. I think it's kind of rude to call it a silver lining, but I guess the only positive is that it only affects digital. I guess that's what you said.
Yeah, only
It doesn't
digital.
affect the physical, and most Nintendo Switch owners are physical only. So I guess for the vast majority of gamers, it really wouldn't do much. But that's still a crazy thing to happen, because there's still digital owners out there. So I hope that the people that that have updated their Switch, I hope this doesn't affect them. If anybody's listening that has digital only on the Switch, I am so sorry. But yeah, especially with all this set into the precedent right before the Switch 2 launch is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially because of the Switch 2 with the whole game card change that they're doing this in the first place. So
yeah, which was insane. I really didn't think Nintendo would be the one doing virtual cards, but yeah, we're coming into a digital age now, and even Nintendo can't avoid it too long, I suppose. So yeah, it sucks. It sucks. It really does. Like I said, I hope they get a patch out soon, because that's crazy.
agreed. And on that note, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here, because I gotta run immediately as soon as we end this. So we're gonna screw the outros. You guys know where to find us. But yeah, we're gonna skate up out of here. That was our last topic for today. Appreciate everybody who came through. Saw a lot of new faces, some people who haven't joined us in a while, so that was really dope to see everybody. I see Henry popped up in the end there. Yeah, them breaking the console, yeah, that's a mess too. Like, Nintendo is a mess lately, man. They just doing what they want and getting away with it, to be honest, because I guess as long as they release Metroid, no one cares. But yeah, like I said, with that, man, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Again, thank you everybody who came through. It was a lot of fun, a lot of interaction in the chat today, just how we like it. Enjoy your games, everybody, play your games. We're gonna head up out of here. Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
Otter Nation it is.